Chapter 1: The Fighter's Mindset, Rogan's Early Life, Comedy Beginnings, and UFC Journey. The air in the small, dimly lit room was thick, almost humid, a strange mixture of sweat, lingering cologne, and the faint musk of aged carpet, worn thin from years of heavy boots pacing back and forth. Dust particles danced lazily in the muted light of a single flickering fluorescent tube above, each mote swirling like a tiny, weightless galaxy in the stagnant air. The walls, a dull nicotine-stand cream, were plastered with faded posters of comedy legends, George Carlin's face grinning wickedly beside Richard Pryor's wild-eyed stare. Tucked in the corner, a weathered leather couch sagged under its own history, its once rich brown now faded and cracked, like the skin of a heavyweight fighter past his prime. The floor was a patchwork of scuffed wood planks, each creak underfoot like a sigh from the room itself, holding the memories of countless young comedians who had dared to test their material on the stage. In this crucible of half-forgotten dreams and second chances, a young Joe Rogan sat, elbows resting on his knees, fingers steepled beneath his chin, eyes dark and focused like a predator watching its prey. His breath was slow, controlled, each inhale deliberate, each exhale steady, the way a fighter centers himself before the bell rings. The muscles in his forearms tensed with the grip of an invisible opponent, his knuckles white with anticipation. He was 24, but the years had been hard. His face, sharp and angular, bore the rugged lines of a man who had spent hours in sweat-soaked gyms, absorbing punches, grappling under harsh lights, and willing himself to become something more than just a body in the ring. The tattoos that would one day become his armor were yet to be inked, but the fire, that raw, relentless hunger to be somebody, was already burning behind his eyes. Joe's childhood had been a tapestry of quiet turbulence, moving from Newark to San Francisco and back, his father a looming figure in the background, a former cop with a temper that could ignite like a match in dry tinder. The sound of raised voices, the crack of something heavy hitting a wall, the icy silence that followed, these were the echoes of a boyhood spent learning that fear was a teacher and anger a fuel. The family's modest home smelled of cigarette smoke and simmering marinara, the wallpaper peeling in the corners like the edges of a neglected painting. By the time Joe found himself in Boston, the city had wrapped around him like a cold, unyielding fist. The air outside was sharp with the tang of car exhaust and wet concrete, the sidewalks slick with a thin sheen of rain that clung to everything like a second skin. He would walk the streets late at night, boots heavy on the asphalt, the sound of each step a rhythmic reminder of the distance he had yet to travel. The streetlights buzzed faintly, halos of yellow light shimmering on the wet pavement, their glow distorted by the droplets that clung to the glass. Every building seemed to loom above him, their facades weathered.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?